I was giving someone relationship advice, and I found myself appealing to their courage, doing the right thing, because not doing so would result in living with regret. And I realized so many of us live with so much regret. So today I want to give you 7 ways to turn regret into revival. Here we go. Before I unpack 7 ways to turn regret into revival, I want to ask you for a quick favor. Please like us, share us, wherever you are listening on podcasts, give us a rating, give us a review, help us grow the channel. Thank you so much in advance. So what are the things that we shouldn't do with regret? On paper, these things are self-evident, but we do them all the time. These are the things that we do. We sweep them under the rug. We just don't acknowledge them at all. We don't deal with them, the effect it has on our emotional health and our mental health. We don't have processes and mechanisms to do something about it. So they haunt us as ghosts, they corrode us. They just show up in our brain in completely unnecessary times. We also avoid involving other people in this process. And that's why you need close, deep, vulnerable relationships. We don't acknowledge it to even ourselves. So those are the things that we do all the time that we shouldn't be doing with regrets. So what can we do with our regrets to transform them from regrets to revival? Okay, a list of 7 things in no particular order. First, fix them. If there's anything that can be reversed, fix it. Sometimes it's a costly endeavor, financially, emotionally, time-wise, but if you can reverse it, fix it. Make amends. If it's a relational regret, make amends. Reach out to the people involved, talk it through, even if time has passed by. I've tried to do this over the years many, many times, and I recently found myself feeling this regret about a romantic relationship that I had literally decades ago. And I just couldn't locate the person, so, I couldn't make amends. Eventually, I sort of realized that I could actually, through a third party, locate the person. I reached out to them, I talked to them, and it was decades later, and it was unbelievable how much healing happened in half an hour of a conversation. Be vulnerable with yourself and with closest friends, but first with yourself. We separate ourselves from painful emotions. So if we don't have systems, habits, rhythms that allow us to sort of process this stuff, we can't even recognize that ourselves. Half the time we don't even know what we're feeling, right? And then the next step is be vulnerable with friends who can speak into your life, with whom you can share vulnerably. This is what I'm feeling. I have this regret. It was many years ago. I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I made that choice. I can't believe I didn't do this other thing. Use regret to discover your blind spots. This is something that I came up with, honestly, out of the blue many years ago. I was sort of puzzling about a pattern that I recognized in my professional life over the years. And I couldn't place my finger on what I did wrong, what was missing in my capability to do something. So what I did is I emailed probably 7 or 8 people that worked with me through the years, and I'm talking maybe 7 years back. And I said, hey, I'm working on this thing, I'm puzzling, I hit this sort of dead end situation for me, and I want you to speak into, very freely, I give you permission, what was wrong in this particular thing, right? So I gave them permission, I described what the problem was, I asked for help. And half of the people didn't even respond. Half the people responded in sort of broad terms, but there's 2 or 3 people that responded with very specific feedback that was pure gold. It was just absolutely awesome because it allowed me to see something that I don't normally see about myself, right? Discover the blind spots. So then what you do with that is you go, oh, this is a blind spot. I'm not even aware that this thing exists. That doesn't help. And then you can bring him into the center of your life, you can shine a light on it, and you can work on it, and becomes from a blind spot to a weakness, from a weakness to a strength. Learn how to change regret into rocket fuel. Negative emotion is a lot of energy. It's a lot of energy. Negative energy doesn't help you. So if you learn how to change that energy and channel it into passion, into building, into changing, into transforming, you'll see how it propels you. It really changes your life because it gives you so much more motivation than your average motivation can be. So my example is family, parenting. I had sort of this dysfunctional family for 3 generations. And I used that and I said to myself, and to other people, by the way, this ends with me. Just watch me change this. And it really propelled me, really, really propelled me. And I have a very different life now in that dimension that I used to, because I channeled my regret into this rocket fuel motivation. As you tackle these things one by one by one, eventually you have to act. You have to act now, whatever it takes. If you're at a minus 10 point in your regrets, you get therapy, get help, get coaching, buy books, do whatever it takes, get to zero. And then from there, you act. You have time. Whatever regrets they are. You didn't write that book. You didn't start that company. You didn't change your career. You didn't choose something wisely. Choose differently. Act now. The more you act on the fuel that is provided by your regret into passion and building, the more the regret will be transformed from something that's corrosive into something that is valuable for you. The last thing you can do and should do once you transform regret into revival is to pass it on to others, teach others. You can't imagine how healing it is to be in the presence of people that you can teach, share, guide, warn, so that they don't have the regrets that you have. That's part of the reason why I told my friend, find the courage, do the right thing. What I don't want for you is to regret this. This is an opportunity, do it now. So when you teach others, it's healing, it's transformative, and it's helping other people as well. If you do most of the things that I just mentioned, your regrets will be transformed into a much more high impact life, because it will heal your emotional, your relational, your professional life in many ways from this anchor, this virus, this ghost that haunts us, And when you have a clear heart and a pure, sharp mind, you can have impact in the world. And we need you at the very best of who you are, a world changer, to serve the rest of us. This is just the tip of the iceberg of what we do at Xponential Career Coaching. So if you want to take it seriously, you can check this link below. If you like this episode, you should probably check out this other episode on the 3 tips to make bold career moves. You're going to love it. Watch it next.